All right. What's up, everyone? This is Pilo with Digital 262, and you're watching Elite Talk.
Let's get it in.
What's going on, my beautiful people? Welcome to another episode of Elite Talk. My name is Pilo, and I'm here with three people now. So this is going to be a very interesting program. So I'm glad you guys are here. You guys are here to experience history in the making. But first, let me introduce my road dog, my old time friend TJ. What's going on, man?
My beautiful people, what's going on?
Yeah.
How's everybody feeling tonight?
Yeah, man. How you doing, TJ?
I'm chilling, man. You know me, just sipping.
What you sipping on there, man? Let's plug that.
Prickly pear martini, curated by yours truly.
Yeah.
Y'all got to get at me with the drinks, man. For real.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We always do, man. But you know what? You bring that vibe, that sexy vibe to the program with those drinks, man. I like it, man. That looks delicious. I wish I had that.
Oh yeah. Real refreshing.
Yeah. Well, in the other corner, we got my man JOC. What's going on, man?
How we doing, mi gente? Just another day, episode 3. So very excited to be here for sure.
Season 3, episode 3. You know what, TJ? I never thought that I would have to say those words. Season 3, episode 3.
It's epic, man.
It's epic, man. I remember when we got done with. Yeah, remember when we got done with season 2?
Yeah,
I'm thinking, man. I think we're done. Man,
you thought it was a wrap?
I thought it was a wrap, just because of everything that was happening around us. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm thinking, man, this is. I think this is a wrap, but I'm really glad that it wasn't.
Not only the right people are here, so we're gonna keep it rolling. So
yes, sir. Yes, sir. And I want to introduce a very, very special person. A very special person. This person has been with us for a very long time. We've known her for a very long time, and she brings a female perspective to this topic we're about to bring today. So I want to introduce you guys to Anne Marie. What's going on, Anne Marie?
What's good?
How you doing?
Yeah.
Excited to be here.
She looks like she's ready.
Man,
I think I'm gonna do a little less talking on this episode.
She got some clips on her waist, ready to just let them go.
She's ready to go.
I can feel it.
Ready to stir the pot.
Hey, I want no smoke. I tell you that much. I want no smoke.
Yes, he does. He was talking hella shit before.
He said he wanted all the smoke.
No. But you know what, gentlemen, ladies, today I have a really good topic that I want to talk about. And let me just say this. On the last podcast, we talked about body count. Remember that?
Yeah.
And I received so much slack for that episode by all the females. Man, hella females were coming up to me saying, you know what? You guys were sexist. You guys were not being fair. Yeah. You guys were not being fair. Not being fair to females, not being fair to this whole conversation. Because why you guys only talk about why females, have to be concerned about body counts? Why can't we talk about males? So, and I understand what they were saying. I mean, it was fair for them to say that because we didn't have a female on the episode. So now we do.
Yeah.
So
now we're going to neutralize her,
Yeah.
We don't want to come off too biased.
Mm-hmm.
It's funny you say that, Pilo, because I got the same responses, and I even got asked like, "Oh, you guys should be able to do a call-in show, where the fans call in and interact with us." And I was like, that sounds like a great idea. So hopefully in the works in the future we can get that going.
Yeah. That's actually one thing that we're gonna do on the next one, which really good. Thank you for bringing that up. So, but today we're gonna have a special topic, and it's gonna be side pieces. Side pieces.
Okay.
So, why us as men and females? Why do we need side pieces? What justifies us having a side piece? And for those that don't know what a side piece is, you know what, Washington, I didn't Anne-Marie, I didn't get a chance to ask you anything. First of all, tell us a little bit about yourself. Let's start there. I want people to know who you are.
Let's see. What do you want to know? 33, female, from Kenosha. I don't know. Like you said, I've been around you guys, majority of you, for like 3-4 years. So
yeah. Yep, so for those that don't know, we all work together. So that's how we know Anne-Marie.
Yeah.
Yeah. But what else would you like the people to know about you, Anne-Marie?
I don't know. I'm a mother, college student, full-time employee. So I have a lot on my plate.
Yeah. Well,
what you going to school for?
Yeah.
I'm going to school right now for criminal justice, studying my bachelor's. When I'm done with that, I will be pursuing law school. So next year.
Very nice.
Very wow.
So, if we ever get sued, boys, you know who we got to talk to.
You know who to go.
What, you want to be a defense attorney?
No, I'll be going into like civil. No, nothing with law anymore. Civil, family, stuff like that. No, enough of that.
Yeah.
Mm.
Well, Anne-Marie, you know what? Before we get into the topic of side pieces, I want to ask you one quick question before we get started with anything. Okay? Do you believe that is important? I'm just doubling back to our last podcast. Do you believe that it's important for a person to tell you how many bodies they had behind them, or before they start the relationship, how many bodies they had? Is it important to you?
Not necessarily, no. And it's not something I would personally ask somebody, because there's other stuff that no, I wouldn't. What you don't know won't hurt you. So
for real,
it's not something that I need to know.
You should have been on the last episode, man. For real.
Yeah.
Because some of us believe that it did, and some of us believe that it didn't. I personally believe that it did. But what if
say y'all too?
Yeah, you're right. But okay, so Anne-Marie, just to double back on this. So if a man tells you, "Damn, baby, you know what? I'm gonna be honest with you. I had about 100 women before I got with you." This is already when you guys are, are getting started with the relationship. He had 100 women. Would that matter?
What you don't know won't hurt you. So,
but now you know.
You asked me what I ask somebody that. No, I would not ask. But if he were to disclose that to me, that he had 100 females before me, something like that would matter to me. Yeah,
it would matter.
It would.
Oh, it would.
Yeah.
Okay, so Anne-Marie, question for you. Right, let's reverse it. Let's say the man comes up to you, you guys are hitting it off, and he's like, "Hey, I'm a virgin. I've never been with any female. So if we get to that stage, you'll be the first." How does that make you feel? And would you prefer the 100 men or the virgin? We cooking tonight, boys. We cooking tonight.
It's all about you, Anne-Marie.
Ain't fucking with that. Disqualified.
Got her.
Yeah, that's a hard question. That's a trick question.
Okay, really quickly. All right, let me ask why. Why is that a hard question? Because on paper, it would be like, I feel like I would take the virgin, but that's not the case, But I'm curious, in the female perspective, why? Why is that such a hard thing for you to accept?
Because when you're talking about a virgin, you're talking about, like, go back to when you were a virgin, when you were first a virgin.
I still am a virgin to this day.
Yeah, your years.
Yeah, just inexperience, and then, what comes after that. Like, when you're a virgin, you probably won't be with your first forever. So I'm already going to take that into account, knowing that this won't be a forever thing,
You don't want that burden on you.
He's going to want to experiment after that. Yeah. And, so.
Okay.
Meanwhile, you're suffering in silence. Mouthpiece trash. Pipe game trash. You're going to be cheating on them and everything. Like, don't just fear them already. Just don't even entertain it.
Everything is trash.
Yeah.
You know what, TJ? I disagree, man. I think that men who haven't had a large body count, and they say, for example, got with Anne Marie, and I think they're willing to learn. I think they would go the extra mile to make things better.
She don't want to wait for that. Better.
Is that true, Anne Marie?
She need that pleasure now.
She wanted now.
I could teach him a few things.
Oh.
Oh, okay. Well, so Anne Marie your answer is that you don't care. But let me play devil advocate here. So you said that you wouldn't care, something that you wouldn't ask him. But he told you. Now it matters. So now what would you do? Now what would you? He told you he had 100 women. Now how would you go about pursuing that?
I mean, it just depends. How far are we in? How deep are we?
Have I already
slept with him?
Yeah, you already slept with him.
I already slept with him. So, I mean, it's too late.
She come in.
We're what I'm gonna do?
You gotta stick to the script.
I'm 101 now. It's too late. So yeah. But if he were to disclose that to me before, I mean, I would be like, yeah.
Even though he's a great person, even though he treats you right, he opens the doors, he buys you dinner. He's a perfect gentleman. But he's all about you right now.
Right now,
he's a simp.
What went wrong with the 100 before me?
Right. That's a good point.
Yeah. So, TJ, do you think that proves my point, or does that prove your point?
It proves my point, baby. It doesn't matter. I was always told, don't ask questions.
Thank you.
To something you don't want the answer to.
Exactly.
And at the end of the day, who's really going to be honest with everything? You may never get the truth.
Sure.
Mm-hmm. People put on facades when you initially start talking to them. So it's like, who cares? I don't give a fuck what anybody did before me. As long as I'm in the picture, all that shit ceased to exist, and you fucking with me now. So that's the only thing that matters at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Hey, TJ. You mentioned not many people, or we don't tell the truth, right? Both sides, male and female. Why is that? Why do you think that is? Why do you think we just can't come out and say, here's the truth?
I feel like people are ashamed, People are body shamed, especially women. Women get it pretty bad. If they got a body count that somebody don't want to hear, they automatically, put in a box. And that's not necessarily fair because everyone has a past. And at the end of the day, it really does not matter who a person fucked with before you. As long as you're in the picture, they're faithful to you. But a lot of people are just ashamed, man. But everyone has a past. So me personally, I like to be upfront, lay everything out on the table and give the person the decision whether or not they want to fuck with it. If they don't, God bless them. If they do, come for a wild ride,
Mm-hmm. So then, would you say it's fair to say that with you saying people are ashamed of, of their body count or whatever, then it does matter. Then body count does matter.
It does.
If they're keeping it under wraps, if they're lying about how many bodies they had.
Maybe you wouldn't ask, but if they tell you, would it matter? You know what I mean? I think
people's judgment doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Let's use an example. JLC, you just getting to know a woman, and you have that transparent conversation. She says she got 80 bodies. What's going to be your natural reaction? Exactly.
You gotta go.
So that's why a lot of women they're not upfront, or they don't feel comfortable because, you're looking at the wrong things. You're looking at that Carfax, you know what I mean? Like the mileage, instead of just knowing who the person is.
The Carfax is important though. The Carfax is going to determine if you overpay for a car or not. If the car has
it's worth it. It's
a salvage title or things like that, it's important.
So say mechanically nothing is wrong with the vehicle, right?
Right.
It just has a lot of miles. You're still going to be like, nah, I don't want that. It got 100,000 miles on it, and it's a 2023.
No, it depends on the price as well, though.
But then it could be a Lexus.
Okay.
Lexus, you could put 300,000 plus miles on it, and it's a quality car, and you're not going to have any issues. So it's the quality of the person, but people focus on the mileage, and it kind of, you could be blocking your blessing. You could be having the woman of your dreams, the woman that could really take you to that next level, and you could take her to the next level, but you're so concerned about her past and what she did before you.
TJ,
what determines story at the end of the day, you know?
You're absolutely right. What determines the quality of a woman? So don't you think that if a woman has so many bodies under her, that determines her quality? You know what I mean?
Say that again.
Does the quality of a woman is it determined by the body count?
No, but a lot of men determine their worth and their value based on that number. And that just takes away from everything. Cause it could be a reason, man. She could have daddy issues. She could have been molested or touched or whatever the case may be. And there's a reason why she's the way that she is, but does it mean that she wants to continue to be that way and be for the streets? She could just want a good dude and just want to be loyal to that one guy and be married and have the life and the picket fence and all that. So you just can't be so quick to write somebody off, because if you told them your past and they wrote you off, you would be upset. Mm-hmm. Everyone has a past. You know, we just got to focus on the future.
Yeah, absolutely. Marie, what do you think about that? Do you think it matters? I mean, because I know you said it didn't, but he told you. So now what?
Yeah, like TJ said, you just got to move forward from there. Either you rock it with that person or you're not.
Yeah. So, well, for those that gave us slack on the comments area about this topic, you know, write on the comments right now. Let us know what you think. You know, the chat is open right now on Facebook and YouTube. Let us know what you think. Does it matter to you if a man or a woman have a high body count before you pursue the relationship? Does it matter to you? And if they did tell you if the body count is really high, would you still pursue it? So, but let's move on to the actual topic that we want to talk about today. It's side chicks, side pieces. Why do we have them? Why do we want them? I'm going to start this. I'm going to start talking. I think I'm going to start it off. I'm going to set the tone. All right. So you might not agree with me. I might not agree. And I know TJ and we've had this conversation many times.
Be careful.
Yeah, I know.
Be real careful.
I believe that men have to have a side piece to be happy.
So the entree just not enough. You got to have it all.
You got to have it all.
You want your chips and dip, huh?
I want my chips and dip. But it's not just me, TJ.
Extra guac. Okay. I see you.
I think that it all goes back to biblical times. We have to have satisfaction. Us as men, we have to feed on this subconscious hunger that we have that our wives might not be providing. We go out, we feed, we come back to our wives, and that makes us happy.
A dog knows his way home, huh?
A dog's his
Why do you think that is, Philo? Do you think God made us that way, essentially?
God made us that way.
He instilled that within us? You feel like that's just a man's natural nature to just get that nut off, come back home and take care of his family. As long as he doesn't bring any babies home, any diseases, he good. Or publicly embarrass his wife, he's good.
He's good. TJ,
honestly believe that?
Without being all biblical and biblically, because I'm a biblical person. So I believe that it all goes back to biblical times. God designed us that way. As far as men, as much as women like to think, oh, my man, he's so faithful. He goes to church. He's all about me. Deep down in that man's head, he's thinking that there's something that you're not doing, Anne-Marie, that it's not satisfying him.
Damn, I call you out like that, though.
You know what I mean. It's not you specifically, but there's something that you're not doing that he's not being satisfied in. So he's not happy. He might give out that energy or that persona that he's happy. He wants to keep his family. He wants to keep his family happy. But deep down, that man is suffering about something. Might be something sexual. Might be something mental. Whatever. He's not happy about something. So he needs to go out and get that. Be satisfied in that area. Come back home. Now he's the perfect man for you. He's a better man for you.
So you believe in that 80-20 rule? You know what the 80-20 rule is, right?
What's the 80-20 rule?
So your wife can only give you 80%, and the 20% is what you seek in the streets. So your wife, she loves you. She's a good mom. She cooks. She cleans. She does everything that, a wife should do. That's that 80%. You genuinely enjoy her company. But that 20%, man, the streets just calling you. You laying in bed at night, and the streets like, Philo. And you just like, you either succumb to it or you not. But like basically, your wife can only give you 80% and the 20% you seek elsewhere. So you're of that and you believe that?
You have to. You have to, TJ, because if you don't, not only are you going to be very miserable in your marriage, you're going to treat your wife like shit.
Why?
Because, for example, let's say, my wife, we're on.
Look the way he said it. You treat your wife like shit. Like, damn.
We're honest in this podcast, right? We're very honest. Okay, let's say, for example, your wife doesn't like to give head, right? She doesn't. She just no, I mean you're
setting yourself up.
But you're married. It's too late. And you realize not only maybe when you guys were dating, she was giving head, but she was just one of those that she didn't like it. She just did it. Yeah, she's
qualified.
Well, she did it to please you.
I'm sorry, y'all. That's a thing for me personally. But go ahead, people. I'm sorry.
No, I get it. But the thing is that she doesn't do it. But for you, it's something important. You need that. You want that sexually, that motivates you, that gets you going. Maybe in the morning before you go to work, you need to have it. And your wife just isn't doing it. So what happens as men, I believe that we let that bother us to the point where we treat our wives like garbage because we have that in our subconscious mind that we're not being pleased in that aspect.
You're resentful.
Yeah.
So she don't give you that top.
What happens is, one day we go to the strip club, we're having fun, and you get the best head in your life. She sucks the soul out of you. Well, wherever. It doesn't necessarily have to be a strip club. I'm just
you're a wild boy.
Yeah.
Well, you getting top at the strip club, bro? What strip club you going to?
Hey, for the right price, you can get anything.
Pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Right. He's out here promoting. We got sponsors now.
No, for the right price, you get anything. But
some of us drink at strip clubs. Some of us eat. Pilo getting top.
Some of us getting hit.
That's crazy.
But you know what? You treat your wife like trash because that's subconsciously you're not happy about that. That's constantly on your mind. So what happens is that you go out and you get it somewhere else. Now, what happens, TJ?
Yeah.
JOC and Anne-Marie is that you go and get that somewhere else. You feed that hunger that's in the back of your head. You come back to your wife and guess what? You come in with a smile, baby, I love you. It doesn't matter if you don't give me top today because I already in your back of your mind, you already had it. So you're fine. What do you think about that, Anne-Marie? You think I'm full of shit? What do you think?
Yeah, I'd say so. I wouldn't say you come back happy. You probably come back with a lot of guilt. Maybe now you're paranoid because you're feeling like you're going to get caught. It's just not worth it.
Yeah.
You get that immediate satisfaction right then and there. And then on the drive back home, you feeling all guilty, paranoid, you deleting shit.
Sick as a bitch.
And then and then you get home and no, I don't feel that way.
Nope. No guilt whatsoever.
Do you believe that applies for women? From a woman's perspective?
Yeah, I would say so. From
women do the same thing?
Yeah.
So you would do... Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, I'm saying you with a dude or whatever, he treats you well, y'all got a deep intellectual, emotional connection. But the intimacy, his mouthpiece is terrible, And that's really a thing for you. Are you gonna still keep him on deck because you actually love him and you can see a future with him, but on the side, you're gonna be getting some top from somebody else and they're gonna be going crazy and you're gonna be satisfied or whatever. You come back home and you make him tacos and, just rub on his feet and love him better. Do you feel like it's the same concept?
Me personally, I don't cheat for things like that. If I'm going to cheat on, or if I have cheated in the past, it's because of what a man is doing to me. Because a man is dipping out with his side piece and thinking I don't know about it, or because a man is treating me wrong. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
And so then no, I don't feel bad about it. I actually feel really good. Like Pilo was saying, come home happy.
So it's not because if it's a lack, it's because of pretty much how a person is treating you. They're treating you like shit. They cheating on you. You're going to be like, all right, I'm going to up the score on you.
Basically, yes. I'm not going to cheat because something is lacking. If something is lacking, we're going to talk about it.
Yeah.
And if that can't be fixed sexually, then we can't be with each other,
Okay. So does the cheating occur after or before? Or during the time you're trying to work it out? Like, are you gonna have a conversation before you step out, or are you just gonna step out first and then?
No, I wouldn't cheat. Period. Based on that, I would just leave somebody if I felt like it wasn't. Yeah, I'm just being honest. I'm not gonna stay in something and it's not pleasing me. So what are we here for? No, I'll cheat on a motherfucker. Yes, I will. But
damn.
She said, "Don't get it fucked up."
I definitely will. I just gave you the reasons why I would. You cheated on me. You doing me wrong in any type of way. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not gonna do it because your sex game is whack or something like that. Like, I'm gonna try to show you what I like, and if you can't, then
like, come on, baby, stroke a little harder. You know. Put the tongue right here, like, you know.
Yeah. Like right there, don't move. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But why cheat in the first place, Anne-Marie? Why can't you have a conversation with your man? You know, talk about it, maybe go through some training or some, I don't know, anything to make it better. Why cheat?
A seminar.
Watch a YouTube video or something. I don't know.
The cheating will come after all of that. And maybe you stuck in a relationship for whatever reason.
After all options have been exhausted.
Yeah. And I'm stuck in this relationship because we live together, or, you know, we got kids together, or you paying my bills or whatever, and I just can't leave you that easily. Yeah. But you're not listening to what I say, and you still doing this, and you still doing that. Okay. So for the time being, until things finally hit the fan, this is what you're going to do you, and I'm going to do me.
I like that honesty.
Jay, you've been a little quiet over there, man. What's in your head, man? What's going on?
I mean, I've been just listening, you know, to your answers, man. You know, I'm gonna start off by saying I'm not experienced in this field right here. You know, let me just get that out there.
You're not
just the whole.
He's gonna plead the fifth.
No. Just the whole side pieces and stuff like that. However, I will say, I think it's different between man and female. Like Pilo said, if we go out and cheat, we're just busting a nut. Doesn't really mean anything. You know, I feel like, you know, like he said, you know, you can come home back to your female and you're all straight, right? However, I agree with Anne-Marie. I think you're gonna have that post-nut clarity. You're like, fuck, you know, I fucked up, la chingue, you know. Mm-hmm. However, with females, I think it's more emotional. So they might start off by saying, "Oh yeah, I'm cool, we're down or whatever. I'm cool just to be fucking buddies," and it escalates from there. And next thing you know, she's like, "Hey, I want to be with you. Leave your girl for me." And you're like, "Nah, we ain't doing that." And next thing you know, she tells your girl, and you're fucked. That is why I stay away from that type of shit. Because it can get messy.
It almost sounds like it's happened to you before. Like you're very specific. You're very specific on that answer.
Let's just say I have friends that have been in that field, man, and I tell them, like, bro, like, you gotta tell your girl, bro, you fucked. You know, so. but
I agree with you though, man. Yeah. Like, I feel like when women cheat, you know, men cheat for just to get nuts off. You know, sometimes you just want to see if you still got it. You've been in a long-term relationship, and you just like, you know what, I want to see if I still got that swag to pull whoever I want. You know, it's like an ego booster, even though you have no intention on leaving your woman. But I think it's different for women, because women, when they cheat, it is emotional, and they don't cheat like pointlessly. Like there's an intention, and the intention is to replace you. Yeah. They're going to cheat with you with a man that can do everything that you can do, if not better.
Yeah. And then I don't know if you guys ever heard the saying, the grass is greener on the other side till you get to the other side. So I think TJ, you're completely right. Mm-hmm. Men are gonna cheat just to bust the nut and call it a day. Right? Mm-hmm. We don't expect nothing out of it. Females are gonna be okay.
You gotta do it.
Right. You know, Anne-Marie, you said something about how you would cheat, you know, if it came down to it. Because maybe your man doesn't know how to give you head or whatever the case is, right? Or the strokes are whack.
No. I did not say that.
Or clarify what you said so I can.
No, I said I would leave him if I was not pleased sexually, then I would leave him. That's what I said.
Right, but in order. So let's say, now we talking about your man or just like a side piece? What are we talking about here?
Nah, I'm talking about my man.
Okay, yeah. So. Is it safe to say that you're probably going to sleep with this man before you make him your man?
Probably.
Okay, so then you're gonna know walking into that relationship that his dick game is ass.
Right. That's why. So that's why I've never been in that predicament where I needed to leave them in. Right.
That's why you have your vehicles before you buy them.
Right. So
Carfax.
However, the point I was trying to make here is with the females talking about how, okay, well, I'm a cheat, but I still got my man on the side. Every time your man is going to want to have sex with you, you're going to be like, nah, I'm cool with it. Because, you know, the guy you're seeing on the side hits it better, you know, eats it better, just does things better overall. So you're going to be unsatisfied with your man, and that's going to create arguments. So, and then at that point, you're going to be like, you know what, why am I with him when this guy can do better and more, you know? And that's why, you know, I think
it's different dynamics though, because I mean, I agree with you, but that woman, she'll still stay because what if she needs her man financially? What if the kids are involved and she doesn't want the kids to grow up in a quote unquote broken family? You know what I mean? So there's reasons why women will stick it out.
I agree. Hey, let's be honest though. I think sex is a very important thing in a relationship. At least it is for me.
For men or women?
You know what? Well, mostly for men. However, I think I will say both to a degree, right?
50-50?
I think sex.
What's the ratio?
No, I won't say 50-50, but I do think sex is very important. You know, I think men are more open when it comes to them being sexual. Women are more hidden, but they are more sexual. You know, behind closed doors. Mm-hmm. So I think sex is a very important role in a relationship. So when the female's not satisfied, that's a problem. And it's funny because one of our listeners asked me this question, and I want to share with you guys, see what you guys think. Mm-hmm. So it says, who's more responsible for the female orgasm, the female or the male? Right? Now, I'm gonna say personally, I'll start it off and I'll answer this question.
Yeah.
If it's my girlfriend, me 100%. Yeah. Right? I'm the man. I'm gonna do my thing. I'm gonna leave her gasping for air in that bed, right? Going crazy with it. However, if it's a one night stand, yeah, I'm gonna do me and we gotta go. But that's
a good point. I never thought about that. That's true.
Regardless, you gotta put it down, man. These women talk.
Yeah.
No, you know what? Here's the thing, though. You're right. You're absolutely right.
If you give a half a dick to the side chick, she's gonna tell people, and then it just diminishes your worth and your value, and your stock drops, man. It plummets.
Okay, here's the thing, though, right? Here's the thing, okay?
Think about it.
You can't go full 100%, right? And this is why I say that, right?
Yeah.
You can't go full. You give him gas. You give it gas enough to show your power, right? But you don't go 100%, and this is why. 100% leads to her wanting a relationship. She's going to want more. I get that. But if you're in a relationship, boy, you're fucked. You're taking the L. Either now or later, you're taking the L.
I mean, her feelings, they don't got shit to do with me. You know,
no,
I'm going to make mark, right. My imprint.
You're absolutely right.
You're talking
about my name very honorably.
You're talking about a one-night stand, TJ? In a one-night stand, you don't give a fuck.
You said what?
Are you talking about a one-night stand? Like what?
Yeah.
One-night
So
thing?
he's saying if it's a one-night stand and he's not serious with her, he gonna give her some half of a D.
Yeah.
You know.
Right.
But I disagree.
Let's be honest, man.
You go even more here with the side chick.
How many times does a one-night stand actually just stay a one-night stand? That's, you know, unless if you just meet the girl at the festival or at a concert or whatever the case is, cool, and you're never gonna see her ever again or out of state. Yeah. However, the majority of times a one night stand leads into a sneaky link and leads to, hey, you know what you're doing tonight? Come over at 2 a.m. type of situation, right? One turns to two and more, and so on, so on, so on. So I agree with you, right? If it's a legit one night stand where I know I'm never gonna see this chick ever again, right? Fuck it, why not? We go on full throttle. But if it's a chick that I know I might see again, man, you really can't go fully.
You know what?
That creates problems.
Lambert can't just distribute mediocre D, man.
Yeah.
Oh, no. Hold up. I didn't say you had to distribute. I didn't say distribute mediocre dick, right? I didn't say that at all. I just said make sure she comes back to tell you, hey, you know what? He's good, but I know he can do better. I know he hasn't shown me all his secrets. You know, and you don't go
bro.
Nah, bro, you don't go into a boxing match whipping out all your punches and blows. You just can't. You gotta save some secrets, to catch them off guard, bro.
I disagree with you,
you know what? I think it all depends on the situation, because what if it's like a one night stand from somebody at work? And TJ, you made this point that women talk. Women talk. You know, you give them trash dick, man. You give them trash. No one's gonna want to mess with you anymore. That's it. You give them trash.
We've heard the horror stories of certain people. Like they'd be like going crazy.
Oh no!
Yeah. So I mean, do you or what? Or do you want to be the guy where she like, he's packing. His tongue game is crazy. His pipe game is crazy. This motherfucker's immortal. You want to be in that?
Let me ask you guys this, right? Because we have a lot of branches coming off this topic. So really quickly, I'm curious to know you guys' 3 answers on the question a fan asked us. Which shout out to the fan for giving us that question. But the question once again was who's responsible, or who's more responsible for the female orgasm, the male or the female?
The man. Period.
Okay. Absolutely, 100% the man.
Me personally, I don't care which way it goes, because as soon as I get mine, if I'm done, I'm done.
What is it? Once you come, you come to your senses.
As long as I get mine, I'm done. So you better be me there.
Yeah, but Anne Marie, that's a really good question, though. For example, if you're struggling to get there, who's responsible for it? Do you feel like you just got to get yours? It doesn't matter, or do you feel like it's his responsibility? He has to go harder. Whose responsibility is it? That's a really good question.
Nope. I'm good. I'll get mine myself, and we good.
It's you. Yeah.
Yep.
That's crazy.
Yeah. That's crazy.
She'll get it regardless. She got to pull out the rolls. He laying on the side of her.
Or fuck her on and be like, "Hey, what you doing right now? Pull up."
Oh man. No, I think it's the man's responsibility for sure. I just feel like men should just take initiative in every regard, and that includes sex. You know,
that's very true. I 100% agree. Yeah. But you know what? Going back to our original topics, ladies and gentlemen, why do you think men cheat? Why do you think men has to have a side piece? I don't think we've covered that. We covered everything else but that. Why is it that men has to have? Because I said my piece. I said what I thought. I think I thought that made sense, but what do you guys think? Why do men have to have a side piece? Because I know most men I know, and I'll be honest with you, man, I know a lot of church men, a lot of great men, smart. I know what you're saying. Smart men that are very holy. That they're so holy that when they walk, they don't even touch the ground. That's how holy they are.
They're the dirtiest motherfuckers out here, man.
But they're the dirtiest motherfuckers I know. And I know who they're fucking in the church. But they have to have it. They feel like they have to have it. But why? Why do men have to have a side piece? What do you think?
I'll go ahead and start this one off.
Yeah.
Again, I'm not experienced in this field, but I'll do my best to answer these questions.
Bullshit.
In my personal opinion, all right, I think the reason why men will have a side piece is because, I think, Pilo, you said it earlier, there's something that their female doesn't hit. Their girlfriend doesn't hit. Their wife, whatever it is, right? I also think TJ's correct. At the end of the day, we're men. Sometimes we just want to see if we still got it in us, right? And sometimes we might push too far, and next thing you know, we in it, right? But I think it falls back down to, I have my kids, I have my wife, I have my house. We established something, that's something it's not as easy to just let me get up and leave, right? So, however, I got this chick on the side here, and I'm not saying she has to fuck better or anything like that, but it's just you have variety. We're just men. We want to have options. We want to have options. So, that doesn't mean you're gonna love your wife less, or you love the kids less. It just means, hey, you know what? I got this little thing on the side, and that's it.
Well, and Marie, let me ask you this: if your man comes up to you and says, "You know what, baby, you're not doing this for me. It's just you're not doing it very good. So I got this other chick on the side that's doing it better. But you know what? I love you. I love you. It's all about you. I would bust my ass for you. I will work for you. As a matter of fact, here's my paycheck. Everything. He gives you everything.
Yeah.
What would you say though?
Real quick.
What would you?
This ain't the '60s, man. This is 2025.
What does that mean?
I mean, me personally, yeah, I wouldn't allow anything like that. I'm very old school when it comes to stuff like that, and I just feel like it all comes down to your morals and the way you were raised and how you were raised. If you were raised in a household where there were two parents there, or were you raised by a single mom or by a dad, I just think a lot of it has to do with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because some people are raised, around their dads and they see them with multiple women and or having multiple kids. So then when they grow up, they think that's okay. They think that that's okay to do.
Yeah.
Okay.
But when you're raised inside of a household where you see your dad doting on your mom all the time, that's what you're gonna aspire to be when you get older.
Yeah.
And so that's what you go ahead.
Mary, I got a question for you. So would you say it's harder to date in 2025?
Yeah.
Would you say it's easy?
It comes down to a trust thing.
Okay.
Like,
would you say it's a lot easier to have sex in 2025?
Yeah.
Do you think more people cheat or more men cheat in 2025?
It's equal.
Both. No, absolutely not.
Okay.
Absolutely not.
So,
What?
For a second.
Women, they were in charge of the house, cooking, cleaning, while the men were off doing whatever the fuck they wanted to do.
Yeah.
So they had no choice but to sit there and take that. It's 2025 now.
Yeah.
You could get out.
Right.
so let me ask you this: do you think the majority of men cheat in a relationship?
Most men cheat.
And there's a follow-up question to this, and I'm trying to make a point here, but I'm trying to pick your brain a little bit.
Do most men cheat?
I have to be completely honest.
Please.
I would like to say that they don't, but I do 100% believe that they do.
Yeah.
Okay.
Based on experience.
From experience, from stuff I see around me, from coworkers, from
Especially
so then,
coworkers.
Do you think if they cheat once, they'll cheat again?
Not necessarily. I don't necessarily think that's true. I think like Tilo was saying, sometimes TJ was saying they might just want to see if they still got it. They might dibble dabble a little bit and then come back and be like, okay, I don't ever want to do that again. Like, that did not feel good. I don't like the way that made me feel. I don't want to be that type of man. One and done, I don't believe once a cheater, always a cheater.
So knowing all of this information,
you don't believe
right?
that?
Yeah. You don't believe
Not
once a cheater?
no.
Okay.
People change.
So knowing all of this information, right? TJ asked you if you found the man of your dreams or whatever, and he's paying all your bills, taking care of you. You got the ring, got the house, got everything, right? The only thing he tells you, he's like, hey, I just want to go fuck other women. He's letting you know up front that's what he wants to do, right? But he's like, I won't bring any kids home. I won't bring any diseases home. You knowing that, are you staying or are you leaving?
I'm gone.
So you leaving, right?
Yep.
Are you most likely the next guy you try to find? Let's just say he doesn't held up to the guy you just left with, right? But he still cheats anyway. If you know the majority of the guys cheat, wouldn't you just want to stay with the guy that provides and gives you everything? If your ex is gonna cheat or your future boyfriend's gonna cheat anyway?
No, we're not living in the 70s or the 80s anymore.
Oh, come on.
Okay.
Nah, we're not living in that. I don't have to sit down and I don't have to take that. No.
So you wouldn't even counter him? You wouldn't be like, all right, well, I mean, we got this established. I respect your honesty, but, I'm going to do my thing too,
No.
We still building together. You don't believe in that either?
Nope.
What if he's like, hey, I'm
not going to sit down and just shut up. No, you go ahead. You do you.
Yeah.
I'm going to split this divorce. We're going to split it down the middle. You go your way, I go mine.
Yeah.
So what if he's like, hey, I want to have a threesome with another female, and that you're included in that.
That's different.
Where does that you as a female? Where does that put you in? You know, because technically, right? If we're going by the book, that's considered cheating because a man, your boyfriend is fucking another woman.
Mm-hmm.
It's not cheating if you're doing it together.
That's true.
Just saying.
It's consensual. It's consensual.
Okay.
It's consensual.
All parties know what's going on, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I guess to get to the original topic too, I think I have a more unique perspective as to why men have side pieces. I don't feel like it has anything to do with the woman. I think it has everything to do with the man. There's a void inside, something that, because I've seen situations where the woman is doing everything for the man, and they still cheat. Like they're fucking them good. Their mouth game is crazy. You know, they flute players out here going crazy. Yep. They're great mothers. They doing everything that you can ask for from an honorable woman, and the men still cheat.
They still do.
I think that is, like Pilo, you were saying, you think it's just how God made us. It's like a biological thing, damn near. But I don't think it is. I think it's more of a self-esteem. There's a lack or a void within that man. Like I'll be really transparent. Like, I'm sorry, Pops. I'm so sorry. So my dad, like, you know that song by Leon Thomas, the Mutt song? I'm a you already know the song. So my dad was on some demon time, you know, and I grew up and I seen that. And at one point I really thought that was normal.
Yeah, idolized it. Yeah.
At a time I did, but then I realized, you know, what neutralized it was my mom just seeing the hurt. Like, she'd be crying in her room randomly on a Friday night after he picked a fight with her just so he can be out in the streets. I'd be like, what's wrong, Mom? Like, you good? And she'd be like, yeah, I'm good or whatever. And I knew it was because my dad was being dishonorable. So it's like I could have easily took that and be like, you know what? That's the normality. And that's what men do. Or I could choose to be different and be like, you know what? I don't want to put a woman through the pain that my mom's going through right now. And I'm going to be different. So I think men have a choice. Either they indulge in that or they don't. But at the end of the day, it's like you can't blame biology. You can't blame anything because it's full of free will. You have choices. You can either choose to be a not shit motherfucker. You can be a dog or you can be an honorable man. But I think it's individual. I think it depends on who the person is. If they want.
TJ, let's take away this stigma that society gives cheaters, right? Because you know, cheaters is such an ugly word, and it is. Yeah. But would you rather, let's say, for example, your girl, like the point I was trying to make earlier, the girl's not doing it for you. She's doing certain things that you need to make you happy. Would you rather just stay in the relationship? You've been with this girl for a long time. Would you rather just stay in the relationship, be unhappy? Or do you have those thoughts that, you know what, I need to go get this. I need this. You know, would you do it? Would you go and do it?
It's just too risky, man. Like, I'm a really intentional person. So if I'm going to choose to be with somebody long term, they got to hit a lot of boxes. You know, they got to check a lot of boxes. So I wouldn't date a woman, like you used the example, her head was trash. Like, why would you ever wife a woman like that if that's a thing for you? We have to be aligned on certain things. And it ain't just for me, it's for her as well. I got to hit the spot. I got to be doing certain things for her. So if we're equally aligned, then it puts us in a neutralized position where neither of us have to be on bullshit. Yeah. So why would you marry a woman who already lacks? That's what I don't understand. Because it's going to turn you into a demon. And you're going to throw somebody's heart in the blender and just press the button and then just destroy them. And it's just like, why even do all that when you could find somebody? Because there's somebody for everybody. You can find somebody out there who is equally aligned with you in that regard. So that's why I was saying, I don't think when men cheat, I don't think it has anything to do with the woman. It has everything to do with the man and how he feels about his self-esteem. You know, he lacks something.
TJ thinks that it's a man's issue. I believe it's a woman's issue. JLC, what do you believe?
No, I think
they're gonna be like,
I think TJ's right, man. I think at the end of the day, it's up to the man, you know, because let's say, you know, your girl isn't doing it for you, right? I think a communication and tell her, hey, you know what? Don't do this or do this instead, or you know, I like it when you do this or do more of that. Stuff like that. Just a conversation would go a long way, you know, instead of being like, fuck it, I'm gonna go cheat. She sucks, you know? But I think TJ's right. I think it comes down to us being men, you know, us being selfish, you know, us being like, well, let me see what else is out there. Let me see what else I can pull just to see if I can pull it, you know? And the thing with us is once we hit a bar, we want to see what's higher than that bar. So let me go talk to Shorty. Bet. Let me see if I can get her number. Bet. Let me see if I can take her on a date. Let me see if I can fuck and so on. Let me see if I can make her cheat on her man and just so on. You know,
ego boost.
Yeah, you know, because it comes down to, you know, we're all dogs. At the end of the day, we're all dogs. You know, it's just in us. You know,
and that's what I was saying. Oh, go ahead, bro.
Oh no, I was just gonna say. However, I think you're also to an extent. I agree with you that it comes from history and biblical times. You know, because across the seas, it's very traditional for the husband to have multiple wives. You know, back in the day, you know, when there was kings to be ruled, kings will have, you know, multiple wives, and believe it or not, they would have their queen, but their queen would be almost like an offering to any type of, you know, guest coming in. You know, like, hey, you're my guest, please have my wife. So you know, both are correct, you know, you both are correct. But yeah, I have to agree with TJ for sure when it comes to the man being selfish.
Negro, you in America, so I mean that. But and then to further elaborate about, it has everything to do with the man. Like I talked about ego boost, right? You want to see if you still got it. That has nothing to do with your woman. It has everything to do with you. You're trying to prove to yourself that you still got the juice.
Yeah.
You know,
in that regards, you're right, TJ. But you know what? I don't think most guys don't cheat because of that situation. I think they cheat because they need something. They need something.
You know what?
There's something that their woman is not giving them.
So you're blaming the woman. It's her fault.
No, hold on. Because when you say, hold on. I know what you're doing.
Lying, bro.
I know what you're doing.
They're watching. They're watching.
I know what you're doing. I know what you're doing, TJ. But
you know what? I'm gonna be quiet.
You know, but it's not like that. I think that you know. You said what I had to say.
Here's the thing, Pilo. Right? I think, like, let's say, and you know, hypothetically, your wife is a blonde, right?
Yeah.
And you really like brunettes. All right. You're gonna go out and find a brunette. Why not just tell your wife, "Hey, throw on, let's cosplay and throw on a brunette wig."
It's a way more complicated than that, JLC.
No,
because
she's gonna ask you. She might argue like, "Why? Because you like all brunettes and all this shit, right?" But here's the thing: at the end of the day, I mean, you can be straight up and be like, "Throw on a brunette hair, or I'm gonna go cheat."
Yeah, right.
However, if that's your wife, bro, y'all locked in, right? In theory, y'all locked in.
Yeah.
If she's getting mad because you just like brunette women and she's just not brunette, maybe that's not the right person for you. Or maybe you gotta tell her, "Hey, man up, we're adults."
Why the fuck would you even marry her?
Right.
Yeah.
You already knew she was a brunette before you
People
married
set
her.
themselves up for failure. Like, I don't believe in that. Like,
look, gentlemen, look, men are not fucking, you know, at least me. I don't make decisions, you know, like when you go into a grocery store and you go into the checkout line, oh, Skittles, let me go get some Skittles. You know, when a man makes a decision to cheat, it's something that he planned for a very long time. There's a reason for that. Men just don't, I don't, at least me or men, I don't think, but just cheat for the hell of it. There's got to be a real reason, especially if a man has been married for a very long time.
I disagree.
It's got to be a real good reason. I've been married. Let me tell you guys something. I was married 16 years, 16 years. And, you know, my previous marriage, I was a bad cheater. And, you know, there was a reason why I did that. There was a reason because there was years of neglect of a certain situation, of a certain aspect of, you know, that marriage that I wasn't getting. So I needed to feel happy, you know.
So you literally take vows with the woman knowing that you're going to cheat at some point.
Right. So let me ask you a question.
It's a possibility.
I got a question. So how long did you go on with her cheating for after you realize she wasn't giving you what you need? How long did the cheating go on?
So what? You know what? That's a good question. The reason I cheated on my ex-wife is because she wasn't mentally stimulating. She wasn't mentally stimulating me. I thought, and I feel really bad for saying this because my ex-wife. Let me just say that because I'm about to be divorced twice. My ex-wife was a very good wife, but she wasn't mentally stabilizing. She wasn't mentally stimulating to me. So I needed to go out and find somebody that would challenge me in certain aspects. And I know it sounds really stupid.
It kind of contradicts what you said.
How long did you cheat for? You still answer my question.
I cheated for a very long time. I was a very heavy cheater.
Okay,
very long time.
Did you tell her?
On her? If you cheated on her for that long, why didn't you just divorce her? Because you ended up divorcing her anyways. Look how much time you wasted.
Oh, absolutely. No, and you're right. You're absolutely right. And but the thing is, Anne-Marie, I wanted my cake and eat it too. That's what it came down to.
So did you tell her?
I wanted my cake and eat it too. No, hell no, I didn't tell her. I went as far as having a
no.
Hell
so
no.
You didn't tell her, hey, you're not satisfying me in this aspect.
No. In that regards, yeah, we did have that conversation.
And
but
then
she just
how'd that conversation go? She just not care for it.
Nothing changed. Nothing changed. So
how do you fix that though? Like, I guess that kind of contradicts what you said. Like you were saying, like a man just wants to get a nut and he physically sees something appealing, but you cheated because you weren't or you said intellectually or emotionally stimulated.
No, TJ, no. I said that you're right. In that regard, sex, does matter with men, but men, I believe men cheat for various reasons, reasons. And it's just the fact that they're not getting something that they crave. Me personally, Pilo, I'm a very sexual being. I'm a very sexual person. So, with my ex-wife, I just wasn't getting that stimulation I needed, emotionally, mentally. So
that's different
I just
than sex, though, Pilo.
You're right. It's very different than sex. But the fact is that I wasn't getting something that she was not giving me. I needed to go get somewhere else.
It's within the man. It's within the man. That's all I'm gonna say.
So, Pilo, you said you were missing something, right?
Yeah.
So you filled that void with the sexual pleasure.
Yeah.
You need therapy. That's what you need.
Yeah, you need to. Hey, you know what? I think
dude, I need to call somebody. Huh?
It is. We got really good benefits. Take advantage.
Yeah, it's free. So
we're taking a out of our check.
So then, yeah, it's true. Yeah, that's very true. So you said that she was missing something. She wasn't giving you something, so you filled it with sexual pleasure. Then the sex wasn't the problem.
Not necessarily. No, not necessarily. Look, guys, let me just be clear. Well, I believe that men cheat. Okay. I brought up the sexual thing because I believe most men cheat because it's sexual. It's mostly sexual. Men are sexual beings. We need sex. We need certain things in sex. And if our wives are not giving it to us, we got to get it from somebody else. Mm-hmm. So that's why I brought that example. But men cheat for various reasons. I believe that men cheat because they're just not getting something that's important to them to make them happy. There's
a lack of something.
There's a lack of something. Something.
Yeah,
exactly.
I think we're saying the same thing in a different way.
Yeah. But even after you cheat, you still coming back to that land.
Looking sick.
Right?
You have to.
So
you have to, Anne-Marie.
So why cheat? Why not just leave?
I'm sorry.
I won't do it again.
I promise, baby, I won't do it again.
Please take me back.
No one's the next fat ass you see in the grocery store. You want?
Hey, Pilo be knocking on the door like with some flowers and some chocolates. Like, take me back.
Right.
I'm sorry.
Yo,
and shit. He got a stereo in his hand.
680, come back.
Yeah, I'm just a firm believer. If you're not happy, just leave. Just go.
Yeah.
Like he said, sure. There's somebody for everybody. I'm not going to sit here and just
hey, Anne-Marie. I don't think we've got your opinion on that. Do you think men cheat just because it's in their nature and they just want to see if they still got it in them, or do they cheat? Is there more to it than just that?
No, I said I think it's definitely more to it than that. It's about what they witnessed growing up what they've seen their parents doing, what they've seen their aunties and uncles doing, you know, role models. It starts when you're younger.
Yeah.
And then is morals installed inside of you, you know, like lying, stealing, cheating. It's all the same thing.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
That's true.
Right there.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been a very great conversation. And for you guys, if you agree, you don't agree, write it in the comments. Write it in the comments. You know what? Because if you don't write on the comments, you don't matter. It doesn't matter what your opinion is.
We don't know.
We don't know. So it doesn't matter. Write it in the comments, and I will read your comments on the next podcast. But you have to, you know, give us your opinion, or else it doesn't matter. But we have a segment that we want to bring up. And we've had a lot of haters in the past. A lot of haters.
What do we do?
JLC. JLC.
Yes, sir.
Tell us. Hater of the week.
Alrighty. So I thought about this for a while. But you know what? The hater of the week. I think we've all experienced this in our lifetimes, and I'm really glad we got a female here to kind of get her point of view. I was trying to find a video on it. I couldn't find one. However,
wait, there's a video?
I was trying to find one. I couldn't find one. All right.
Gotcha.
However, the hater of the week goes out to all those guys out there that switch up or act different when a female comes into play.
Yeah.
What I mean by that is, you know, I'm going to use Miss Anne-Marie here as an example. Let's say, you know, me and her chopping it up. You know, I'm trying to, you know, I'm spitting game here. And next thing you know, Pilo comes up like, hey, remember that $50,000 I let you borrow? You know, my gold chain bigger than your gold chain. Yeah, that stuff, guys. If y'all doing that, bro, y'all gotta go, man. Y'all basura, man. Yeah, man.
Low vibrational.
Yeah, man. Because one, first of all, especially if you my boy, you catching the fade.
Yeah.
You catching the fade, right? As your boy.
Have you seen this man wrestle? He'll drop kick.
You're catching the fade. One, we're guys, man. Let's not fight over females, man. If you want her, by all means, she's all you. However, if you see me doing my thing, respect it. Right?
Why?
If I take the L, you take it.
Wow, who are you talking about, man? I feel like
who exactly? It almost sounds familiar.
You know what? No one knows. No one specific. Yeah.
As a female, though, that we don't appreciate that. Like, nobody wants to see a man trying to act all like stunt all hard. We be like, just be yourself. Just be you. Be chill. That's what we attracted to. Yeah. Nobody want to see all that, you know, because it's not real. It's not real. Yeah.
Here's the thing. I'd like to dive a little deeper on that, right? I think it's trying to belittle that one person to make themselves look better. You know? So talking about
Wow, what are you talking about, man?
No one specific. Trust me, man.
It's almost like I have a name in my head, but I feel like y'all bring it out. It's just like he just won't come
Let's unload these clips tonight, man.
Listen, man. No one for real. No one specific. You know, if I had somebody in mind, I don't give a fuck. I'll drop it, and they got problems. We can catch the fade. Yeah. However, right, come see me. Y'all know where I work. Y'all know where I stay. Y'all know where I wrestle.
It's a lot of men like that, though. He probably not. It's a lot of men like that, though.
That's what I'm saying. Guys, men, boys, mostly boys. If you're doing that, you're not a man. You're a boy. But boys,
you're a boy.
If y'all doing that, cut that shit out. It's not attractive. Yeah. You're making yourself look weak, right?
Just be yourself.
Yeah. Don't if even if it's not your boy, right? But if you see someone out there spitting game, let them do them. If they take the L, then come in and try to retrieve it for yourself. You know, but that's hater of the week for you guys. That's all I gotta say for that. Yeah. Hey, and if that's you, shame on you.
I still feel like you're talking about somebody, bro.
I too.
Question. Anne-Marie, TJ, Pilo, you guys keep asking me, I feel like you're talking about somebody. Who do you think I'm talking about?
You want me to name the name?
Go for it.
It almost seems.
Game.
Wait. It almost seems.
Are you sure? Because there's a lot of smoke that comes behind.
It almost seems like it's a co-worker.
At the end of the day, if that's their actions, shame on them, man.
You know what, bro?
You know what?
No, don't even give them the pleasure. Don't even give them the pleasure.
If you mirror boys, right,
yeah,
TJ?
You're right, Anne-Marie.
Right?
Yeah.
You say you think is it fair to say that we'll catch a fade for each other if we have to?
Yeah, don't get it fucked up. I'll come out to school real quick.
Go crazy with it, right? Okay. So if I'm doing that to you, right, I expect you to tell me, hey, bro, you got quit it with this shit because you're not looking pretty, right? I might feel some type of way about it. I might be like, oh, TJ on some bullshit. But at the end of the day, you my boy. You're telling me this shit for a reason.
Exactly.
I'm going to look up to you and ask you questions. And we might agree to disagree. But at the end of the day, you know what? You're saying it for a reason.
That transparency is established.
Yep. And we're men. At the end of the day, we're men. If we can't have a conversation about it.
Yeah. So with that being said, we got a problem. Who the fuck are you talking about?
Listen, man. I promise you, it's no one specific. I promise you, it's no one specific.
No, it almost feels... I set you up, bro. I was fishing. Yeah. And you
I know you were fishing. I'm gonna say this though. Like I said, it's no one specific, right? However, if it is, if you feel it's like it's somebody specific, right? Tell them. And
it sounds oddly familiar. Like I know this person. Like it's right there.
Listen, I just try to.
It's right there.
It's on the tip of your tongue.
Yeah, it's right there.
Say it, Pila. Who do you think it is?
It's right there.
Let your nuts drop.
No, don't do it. Don't do it.
Okay.
Don't mention them.
All right. That was Hater of the Week. Hater of the Week. Woo!
You know who you are.
Stop being a hater.
Don't do that, gentlemen. Don't do that.
Don't do that.
Be a player.
It's a bad look.
To the person that they're talking about, you've been spared.
Yeah.
That's all I'm going to say.
But you know what? I'll bet that person that's looking at the podcast right now knows, oh my God, they're talking about me. They're talking about me. But, all right, with that being said, thank you, JOC, for the Hater of the Week.
Yes, sir.
So, gentlemen, ladies, this has been a very interesting conversation. If you guys have any opinion, any questions about anything we talked about, write it down on the comments. Write it down on the comments right there. Boom. I hate what the fuck you guys were talking about. You guys were sexist, whatever. Write it down in the comments. You know, we like to hear from you. And on the next podcast, I promise, I am going to read your comments, read your questions, and we're going to try our best to answer them. So, with that being said, TJ, any final thoughts?
Oh, man, you got me off guard, man. I finished the drink, so.
All right, you know what? I'm gonna come back around. Anne Marie, thank you for coming on to this podcast.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate it.
It's been great. You are very
yeah,
definitely.
You're very intelligent. You have many things to say, and I know we have many topics that I know that you would be a very, very vocal, interesting voice to hear about these topics. And I know it.
You were chosen because you would challenge us. So
yeah. And we appreciate you challenging us for sure, man.
And plus he challenges us every day at work, so you know it's like we know we can't get away with certain things in this podcast with her on. So
you know what, man, I'm gonna say this, man. I'm gonna say this as loosely as possible, but for us four, we kind of know what we're talking about here. Mm-hmm. To the majority of the females at our job, right?
Careful.
To the majority of the females at our job, right? I'm gonna give them your flowers, man, because our job isn't easy, right? Mm-hmm. And I can only imagine how it is to be a female working where we work at. So, man, y'all keep doing what y'all doing, man, because y'all crushing it, man. Not all of y'all females. Some of y'all females are ass, and y'all know who y'all are.
Some are trash.
Right. Trash. But, like I said, we ain't gonna give them the time of day.
Trash.
To the hardworking females, y'all know who y'all are, and we as men appreciate y'all for putting up with their bullshit and our bullshit too. So
I feel like we gotta go out after this, man. We gotta go talk, man.
We really do, man.
You got some shit you gotta say.
We do.
Get it off your chest.
Yeah.
Dang. I ain't gonna lie, man. You know what? How about we do this? You know what? How about we do this? Pilo, I need you to go ahead and make a Patreon, make it happen, right? To those subscribers or those people that really, really want to know the deep tea with names and uncensored
and everything.
They know how they can subscribe, donate to the show, get the show popping. All the revenue goes into the show, make the show better, and y'all get the actual tea. However, we'll keep it like this. Whatever's said in the after hours stays in the after hours.
I love how you think. That's a very good idea. I love how you think.
Yes. You gotta pay.
Gotta pay.
Yeah, Elite Talk After Dark. Definitely. Well, gentlemen, ladies, thank you for coming.
Did you still want a final thought? I think I'm good now.
You're good. Wait. We got to go back to Costello and see JOC. What we still didn't get Anne-Marie's final thought. What do you think?
Oh yeah. Go ahead.
Do you have any final thoughts about anything we talked about today, Anne-Marie? What's your final thought?
My final thought is don't cheat, just leave.
Don't cheat, just leave.
Don't cheat, just leave.
Nice and precise.
Yeah. Kilo, that's for you.
I like that. That's true.
That's for you, Kilo.
Ooh.
Just bounce. JOC, do you have any final thoughts?
Final thoughts. This podcast was great. This is definitely this has to be my favorite one we've done so far.
Oh yeah.
It's crazy. I was only supposed to be a guest, and now I'm part of the show, and I appreciate you guys. In regards to the topic, man, honestly, gentlemen, I know what's in our nature, right? It's not worth the hassle sometimes, right? So if your girl don't provide what you need, talk to her. If she still ain't going, then just find something better, man.
Yeah. Very good. That's couldn't have said it better myself, man. TJ, what you got, man?
Yeah, I apologize for earlier, man. I made this shit too strong. But it's gone now, so I can articulate myself properly. No, I would say just men need to just really, before they get into long-term relationships, just really do the work. Look within yourself and have a high emotional intelligence about yourself so that you're not like inflicting pain on other people, that don't deserve it. So just, like I said, like cheating and stuff, that's a void within a man. That has nothing to do with the woman. So if you worked on those things and you dealt with that trauma, then you won't inherit certain, trauma or certain things and situations in your relationship. So I would just advise every man to just really be out there and really just do that work, man, for real. Like, and you'll be able to tell like whether you did it or not based on your actions. So yeah, that's all I gotta say, man.
That's great, man. Listen, this has been a great topic, guys. I really appreciate you guys coming in. Anne-Marie, I really thank you for coming out to this podcast. It's very rare for us to have.
You gotta be a resident, man.
Yeah,
like have her back, like.
Yeah.
Very busy schedule, but I can spare an hour.
You can make it fit. You can make it fit.
Yeah.
I love it. I like that. Yeah. But you know what? Thank you for coming on to this podcast. It's very rare for us to have a female, voluntarily say, yes, we're going to come on to this podcast. This podcast is very machismo. It's very about man, more what we think. But we rarely have a perspective of female. So we really appreciate you, coming on to this podcast and challenging us, and giving us your perspective. We really appreciate it. Thank you, Anne-Marie.
Thanks.
JOC, thank you, my man. TJ, thank you.
Guys.
All of us here at Elite Talk. Remember, if you have a comment, question, write it down on the chat. Write it down on the message board. We will respond to you. From all of us here at Elite Talk, thank you. To the next one. Peace.
Peace.